guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm going to go straight into it. So this video is just to share with you guys what God has been doing in my life. I'm going to share testimony on how I got my job and how God has been so good to me, and I hope that this video will help somebody who is trusting God for something, and you know, is applying for jobs, and doors that seem to be opening. But I'm just here to encourage you guys, just to share with you what God is doing in my life, and I hope it can bless you. Like I say, once I had my baby girl, once I've had my daughter, I started, after like a year, I started looking for a job, because I said to myself, after she's 1 year and I've stayed with her, yeah, I'll start looking for a job, you know, here and there. So after she was 1, even slightly before she was 1, I was looking for a job, and I was applying and applying. I signed up to agencies, you know, going on Indeed, Read website. What else did I go on? I went on many agency websites, you know, to put my CV on there, create an account. I did get, so during that time while I was searching and whatnot, I put it before God that I wanted a job that suited, that was suitable for me and my daughter, because I didn't want to put my daughter in nursery just yet because she's still very young, and I wanted a job that will allow me that flexibility. I know some of you will be like, there's no such job as that. Well, when things seem impossible, God makes things possible. I just thought I should let you guys know, just put it out there. Like, anything you actually pray for and you have faith, and it's according to God's will for your life, He will definitely make a way where there seems to be no way. And so I prayed about it, and I was like, God. And the reason why I prayed about this is, while I was pregnant with my daughter, that was like another testimony, I think I said it in my previous video, was when I was looking for a Saturday job role, weekend role. I was like, oh, I wish I can just work 1 day a week, you know, still money still coming in, just to enable me to provide, to buy all the things that I need to buy for my daughter just before her arrival. And I prayed to God about it, and within that week, like within that time, God sent one of my good friends, Folake, who worked in an estate agency at that time, and they were looking for a temporary worker, somebody who could work weekends, basically could work weekends. And she told me about it, and I applied and I got the job. So what I prayed for, I got. So even though I did pray for 1 day a week, I got more, 2 days a week, and that's the job. Like, it was just weekends, so Monday to Friday I didn't have to work. And God just continued to show Himself, because even while I was working there in the estate agency, I started to see that, oh, I need to buy this, I need to buy that, and the money wasn't enough for the time I was working. And that's how God now opened doors where the manager of that place, they needed extra help during the week, and it was at a convenient time for me, because I let them know that I won't be able to catch a bus during rush hour, and they were understanding, and they said I can come in at 10 rather than come in at 9 while the traffic is died down, and if I can come in and do just extra hours like during the week. And even talking about it now, thinking about what God has done for me is just unbelievable, because even at that time, it just seems that God always went before me, already, you know, made provision, you know, for me. And that's exactly what He did when I worked at the estate agency, and everything that I was able to, and so I was that enabled me to provide all the necessary things I needed to buy in order to prepare for my daughter's birth. So when I made this prayer for my actual new job that I have now, I knew, I was like, you know what, God done it for me before, like He can do it again. There's nothing that my God cannot do. I just have to, you know, never cease praying and trust Him that, you know, Proverbs 3 chapter 3 verse 5 to 6 says, trust the Lord God with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, seek him in all your ways, you know, and he will direct your path. And that is exactly what he done for me. So so I was applying for jobs. I kept getting phone calls, you know, from various agencies, you know, telling me about, you know, oh, we're interested in you, we've seen your CV, you have great experience. And you know, it just seems like I was the perfect candidate for the role. But however, it got to a point where they'll say, yeah, you know what, we'll get back to you, we'll contact you, and we'll see. And then they never contact me again, you know. And it does become disheartening when you've been applying for job, and nothing seems to come, or it seems like one door's about to open and then it closes. And God, you know, taught me during that time that I have to have patience. I had to keep reminding myself that God knows what is better for me. He knows what is right for me. He knows what I need. You know, he knows the future. He knows, you know, the provisions that I would need, because he's the only one who can see ahead. So I have to put my faith, you know, in our sovereign God, knowing that he is able to do exceedingly abundantly more than I can even ask or imagine. So it was disheartening knowing, like, me applying and you know, when I feel like there's a glimpse of hope, oh, I'm gonna get the job, and then I don't get it, and I'm like, what is this? And then I just have to constantly say, you know what, God knows best for me, God knows best for me, God knows best for me, God knows best for me. And also at the same time, people around you, you know, like, will say, oh, when are you gonna get back into work? Oh, you're back at work. And I always, my response is, you know, I am applying, but when God says it's time, it will be time. And you know, I'm just grateful for having friends who prayed along with me, sisters who encouraged me, and you know, just allow me to, when I feel like I'm becoming disheartened, and they always you know, lift me up in prayer and say, you know what, God has already have a place for you waiting, Yemi, do not worry. So in my community, they normally do like, you have like the Metropolitan like this agency basically, who work specifically in communities where they help people in that community get jobs. So in my area, community center opposite me, they had this workshop day where, you know, to help people within, you know, my area to get a job, anyone who's employed, financial advice, anything basically to help them, you know, in whether to be getting to work or any other thing that you may need advice on, whatever. So I remember getting a letter through the post explaining, talking about, oh, they're going to be holding this event, you know, near my area, you know, about anybody who's looking for a job or any other, you know, help that they may need. And I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, and I just put it to the side. And then my mum, she saw the letter and I sort of forgot about it. I was like, what are they going to offer me? And I had in my mind the sort of job that I want. You know, I have experience in an estate agent, I have experience working in a law firm, so I was looking for sort of job roles in that area. And I was so when I saw this, I was like, yeah, no, I don't want. And you know, it's just amazing how the thing that you don't think God will give you, he will actually give it to you. But yeah, you see what I mean as I go on the story. So the day came where it was the day for the workshop. So I completely forgot about it. Actually, tell a lie, I didn't. It kept going on in my mind about it, but I just kept shutting it out. I'm not going. What am I going to be doing there? I don't want to do it because I don't want to work anywhere near, you know, this is what I want. Yeah, this is what I want. I want to work in a law firm, or I want to work in basically a really good company. That's why I want to work. I don't want to work, you know, basically I was picky where I wanted to work. And so my mum as she came home and then she was like, oh, I just remembered, no, she came home, she was like, oh, I've just been to the workshop place, you should go. I told the guy about you, that you're looking for a job, and that you have, you know, you have great experience. And the guy said, oh, you should come. And I was like, And then my mom was like, don't, you have to go. You know, you never know what could happen, you never know what, you know, what God may have in store for you over there. And I was just like, so reluctantly, oh gosh, camera's lost focus. So reluctantly, I went to the community centre, and I was like, okay. So I got there and, you know, spoke to the gentleman, and he was very helpful. He showed me, you know, what they have available, and like customer service role, customer service role in Stratford, you know, and all these places where, like, to work in different shops, and they were good roles. Then I was like, okay, so I had to now open my mind. I was like, you know what, Yemi, you can't be fussy. You know, you have to start from somewhere. So I was like, okay, yeah, I wouldn't mind applying for this role. Can't remember what role it was. I was like, okay, yeah, I don't mind applying for that role and whatnot. So he was like, okay, when you get home, I'll give you my email, send me your CV, and we'll take it from there. So I was like, okay, thank you. So we left the place now. And then the following day, or was it a few days after, I think it was a few days after, I then get a phone call from the employment officer that saw me. And he was like, how far do you live away from the community centre? And I was like, literally 10 steps. Like, it's not far at all. Like, less than a minute away. And he was like, okay, there's an opening, there's a position. It's a customer service based role, and you be a casual worker, where, you know, you be helping, you know, the manager, you'd be assisting the manager with anything to do with what hiring and anything, like taking phone calls and all those things. And I was like, to be honest with that moment, I was like, do I really want to work there? Oh, because in my mind, I'm set in my ways. This is what I want. This is what I want to do. And then I was like, and then somebody just clipped that, yeah, I mean, what have you got to lose? You know, all these jobs you've been applying for, nothing, you know, just try to go for this. And it was a phone call, so I had to say yes or a no then, because it was an urgent, they needed somebody really urgently. So I was like, okay, no problem, I'll go for it. So and then I was like, oh, but this is not what I want to do. Even after that, I was like, this is not what I want to do. Like, oh, I don't want to do this role. Like, this is not what I have in mind. And then a few days after, I got a phone call saying that I have an interview. And so the employment officer told me, you know, things that I needed to, told me things that I needed to prepare for, you know, and how to prepare for this interview and whatnot. So the day of the interview came, and I prayed about it and I asked God to take absolute control. So as soon as I had my interview, the interview went really, really well, and I just had a feeling that I got this role. So as soon as the interview finished, and before I now, you know, jump. So during the interview, I told them that I have a daughter, and because the role was working the night shift, so the night shift, that would be from 5, so like 5 to 10 p.m. and yeah, so I told them I had a daughter, and it basically fitted, you know, what I wanted. But not what I wanted, but it did fit around me and my daughter, because I did want to have time with my daughters until I feel like she's old enough for me to put, until I'm comfortable enough for her to go into nursery. So I told them, and they were like, oh, okay, you know, that's fine and whatnot. So as soon as I got home, interview went really well. As soon as I got home, they now gave me a call back, and they said, you've got the job on the same day. Like, as soon as I got home, I got a call from the manager saying I got the job, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got the job. I was like, yeah, like I was so happy, because you know when you just want to hear that, you know, that you've been applying for a job for all this time, and you finally hear that you get the job, even though you're not too sure of the job, but you got a job. So I was like, yeah, got the job, thank you, Lord. Then so I started working there, and God definitely, you know, allow me to, that I knew that that job was for me, because then the manager, she said to me that, oh, you know, this job is very, you know, suitable for you. And then, you know, I told my mum about it. Mum was like, you know, not to worry, because my mum comes back from work, let's say 4, and my mum said that she will look after Elizabeth when she comes back from work and take over for me. And I'm just so appreciative of my mum. Like, she definitely goes far and beyond for me and my daughter. And so I was working there. So I started last year October, so that's how I got that job. And then it was just perfect for me because it was the evening shift. So the morning times up to like 5, I, you know, get to spend time with my daughter, and then 5 to 11 is the shift. So then around January, they because being a casual worker, you're on 0-hour contract, so there's that they can just let you go anytime basically. And I was like, okay, you know, like, this job is not secure, but okay, God, you gave me this job for a reason, and I know you would make a way. Like, one thing is that I know that I always had my faith. I always have faith. Like, my faith is, even when I feel like it's about to unwaver, I always, you know, get back on track, and I'm like, no, like, God, I remember the promises, you know, that God has given me, and, you know, in his word for his children. So when around January, there was another job opening, but it was a permanent role in where I was working as a casual, and this role was a deputy managerial role. And so when I read the description of what they're looking for, because my manager, she encouraged me, she was like, oh, there's going to be an opening, I feel like you should apply for the role, you know, if you really like the job as a casual and you want a permanent position, I believe that you should apply for this role. So when I read the job description of what the job entitled me to do, I had to work 36 hours, I had to do a bit of like during the day shifts and evening shifts, I had to work bank holiday, I had to and etc, etc. So when I read it, I was like, 36 hours, how am I going to do that? And I was like, oh, but I have a daughter. And basically, if you read the description, it does not suit it doesn't suit my needs, basically. That I felt like it didn't suit my needs, like, because I believe that there's a job out there that will suit around me. Because God has done it before, and he did it when I made the casual role as well. And so during that time, I was like, I spoke to my mum about it. I was like, Mum, this is a new opening deputy manager role, and it's permanent, and I want to go for it, but it's not for me. And I wasn't going to apply for the job. So it was on the deadline day that I said, what have I got to lose? I might as well just do it, and just do it, Yemi, and, you know, pray to God about it. Just do it and let God take control. You know, at least if you apply for the job and don't get it, at least I won't regret not trying and wondering what if. So I applied for the role, and then a few days later I got through to the interview stage. I got an email saying that I'm through to the interview stage. So interview stage. So I'm not really good at interviews. Even the first interview that I did as casual, that was God. Like, God spoke through me. I was open, I was honest, but at the same time I was able to talk about my experience in relation to what they're looking for in the requirements of the job role. So when it was this interview, I was not fearful at all, because I've put my faith in God, and it says in scripture that God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but of love, peace, and of sound mind. And I had peace and sound mind when I entered the interview room. Although there were like three people, it looked like The Apprentice, because it was like 3 people, and you walk in and the table just looks so long, and so I sat there, and the rapport was good between me and the the interviewers. That went really well, even though it was nerve-wracking. And make sure I made notes, I make sure I prepared all those things, and then just allow God to do the rest. I definitely prepared. So don't go into interviews not preparing and thinking that, you know, not with anything that God will help you. No. God only helps those who help themselves. So that's what I just put it out there. So the interview went really well. And then the question was, oh, you know, I know you have a daughter, you work so hours. And I was like, and I said to them, like, it's not like childcare is not an issue. Bearing in mind, I have not sorted that out yet. But I said, childcare is not an issue. It's not a thing. I'll be able to do it. I you know, that everything will be fine, because I just had faith that it will be fine. So after that, on that day, as soon as I got home, I got a call saying that I've got the job for the permanent role as deputy manager. And I was like, what? She was like, oh, so you need to come in, give in all your details and all of that. So I was like, oh, thank you, Lord. I called my mum. I was excited. I was like, God, hey, the way your word says that you do exceedingly abundantly more than we can ask and can imagine. That is the truth. Like, God's word never comes back void. Like, when God's promises always comes true. And it was known that did it happen when I worked in the estate agency, but it's happening again. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got the job. So I went in the next day to give in my my NI number, all those things, passport, blah blah blah. And then my manager looked at me, she said, you know what, Yemi, I understand you have a child. I'm going to sit with you. We're going to create a timetable to make sure that you work 36 hours. It was like, you can work from 3 to 11. She said, I know you have your daughter with you, but you can bring your daughter to work just for an hour. Bring your daughter to work just for an hour. You can bring your waitress to work, and your mum, when your mum's on her way back from work, she can now pick up your daughter, and then from work. And she said that it's a safe environment, it's not hazardous or anything like that. And I was like, wow, like, for her to do that for me, where she didn't even have to, like, she could have just left it to me and be like, yeah, you sort out childcare, no, I'm not going to accommodate you. But she did that, and that is definitely God. Like, definitely God. Like, no one can tell me nothing is God all the way, written all over it. That is God, because I was not expecting that. So now that I work there, my daughter comes with me to work. My mum at 3, my mum picks up my daughter around for 4, and then my mum will now look after my daughter until I finish work. And then on Saturdays and Sundays I do, like, let's say 9 to 6, and then, you know, Sundays I'll do from like 2 to 6. And then I can take time off, you know. So yes, I work Monday to Sunday, but in saying that, it's not necessarily long hours, and it's just perfect for me. And nothing, as you know, as I would say, like, nothing in life is like easy. You would have to make sacrifices, and in order to, once you have a child, you would have to accommodate everything that you do around that child. So yes, it's like I work really hard, but God has given me the strength to do it. And I always remember that I'm working not for myself or anybody, I'm working for God. Like, He has made a way, He has provided me with this job, and because He has provided me with this job, He will give me the strength, and He will just make things smooth for me. And that's exactly what He's done. So when I tell people I work Monday to Sunday, they're like, right, I mean, Monday to Sunday, that is long. And I say, it's not too bad. Yeah, obviously I do get tired and stuff, but I am entitled to take time off, which is what I've done. I've taken time off when I feel like, you know, I'm tired or anything like that. But in saying that, the job suits my needs, and God made a way where there seems to be no way. Like, I work in a place that accommodates, you know how work, they look for people that suit their routine. Like, you know, you get to come work 9, finish 5. Like, it's not about what you want, it's about how the you know, how it runs. But in my case, God definitely made a way, and everything that I needed, everything that I wanted in a job, God provided that. So that job was tailored to my needs. Like, talking about it now, it's like, you know, you're speechless. And it's just to encourage someone out there. You may not even, like, you know, be a mom and you're seeing this video, or even if you are, I think the main thing is, you know, praying to God, having faith. The job market now is a lot. Like, people are applying for jobs, and I know that there's some people who've been applying, or you may be in a job but you're waiting for something and it's taking long. I would say patience. Have patience and keep on persevering. Don't give up, keep doing it, and God will, when the time is right, when the time is right and that time comes, you'll be like, wow, it was actually worth the wait. Like, you know, God will open doors. Like, he will meet you at the point of your needs. He will. But during this waiting period, you know, God is also a test for you to have faith and to trust God. You know, having that faith of not knowing what, you know, God has in store for you, but having that faith that, you know what, I know that God has definitely gone before me and is already, you know, placed me in where he wants me to be. I just have to hold on to that and never cease praying and keep on praying about it. And sometimes the form that you want it in, it may not be it, but I would say, you know, because like for me, it was, I had in my mind, this is the sort of job I want. This is not what I want to do. Why would I want to be doing this role? It is not for me. I ain't working here. And that's exactly what God gave to me. And I had to now change my mindset, and I had to say, you know what? This is a stepping stone to what God has in store for me. I had to humble myself. I had to say, you know what? I have to start from somewhere. And because I humbled myself, I didn't miss out on this opportunity, not knowing that God had, you know, had in store for me a permanent role, a role that is just a minute away from my house. Don't have to pay for travel, don't have to do anything like that, and that suits the need of my daughter. So it's like a win-win situation. So I had to constantly remind myself, you know what, this is a stepping stone to great things. It may not be where I want to be now, but because I humbled myself and I trusted God, you know, to order my step, you know, despite what my flesh is telling me, you know, oh, you know, this is better, you could do better than that. Yeah, we don't take the job. But I did. I said, you know what, God will make a way, and that is exactly what he's been doing. So I hope that this video encourages you all. I don't know what you're going through, what you're waiting for, you know, but, you know, ask God to continue to help you, to give you that patience, and just always seek his way, seek his will for your life. And I know that because he's done it for me, he will definitely do it for you guys. I just wanted to share this story with you guys, because it just, no one can tell me God ain't real. I'm sorry, nobody, because he's done so much in my life that it's beyond, like, it's like, even me myself, I can't comprehend it, you know. And he's a good father. And if anyone's watching this video and you don't know who, you know, who the Lord and Savior is, which is Jesus Christ, and you have not accepted him into your heart, I would encourage you to do so, because once you do that, you would never ever look back again. Like, his love it's unwavering, it's unconditional. He loves you so much, and he you know, God sent his son to die for all of us, for every single one of us. And all we have to do is believe and have faith and go on this journey, you know, go on this journey and seeing what the purpose and what God has in store for you. It's not an easy road. As you see from my previous video, it's not an easy road, it's not, but it's it's never stop praying and having that faith and keep on going, knowing that God has already gone before you in everything, and developing that relationship with him. So thank you guys for tuning into this video, and I hope that it blessed you guys. And you know, it'll be great to hear some of you guys' testimony as well, to hear your testimonies in the comment section below. Share, no matter how small it is. Even the fact that you woke up in the morning, that is in itself is a testimony, I'm telling you guys. And yeah, just I would love to see what God is doing in you guys' lives as well, and share it with somebody. It could really bless someone. That's the whole point of testimonies. It's not for us to keep it to ourselves, but to tell others, you know, so God's name can be glorified, and for people to know that, wow, like, if he can do this for you, he could do it for me. And that's the reason why I share this with you guys. It's not for me to just hide it to myself. I don't want to be greedy like that. I want to share it with you guys. So this is just the beginning for me, I believe, of great things, and I will definitely keep you guys on the journey with me. Even the highs and the lows as well, I would definitely share with you guys, because I want to be real with you guys, and for you guys to see that through everything, God is faithful. He really is. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and see you guys, and thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that this video has blessed you guys. Thank you.